What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 of Caravan Blitz. We've been doing this now for 5 weeks. Fayne, can you believe that? It's crazy.
It's insane how quickly this has gone by.
It is.
Really insane.
It's insane how quickly it's gone by. You guys, in case you're new to the concept of this channel or this what we're doing here on this type of video, the 3 topics that you see over here next to my face, right over here, somewhere like that, we're going to be talking about those in this video that you're watching now. At the end, we're going to switch over to Fayne's channel, and we're going to talk about the 3 topics that are next to his face. So it's more of the exact same content, just on Fayne's channel instead of on my channel. So if you like this video and you enjoy this video, like and comment and do all those things, and then head over to Fayne's channel. The link will be in the description below, and go do it and leave him some love and comment over there as well. So let's get right into it. So my first topic is pure narcissism. Is that what we're going to call it?
I like pure narcissism. That's good.
Okay. We go with pure narcissism. Self-aggrandizement. Something along those lines. I have started a new Twitch-based interactive show. Like I at first we were calling it a podcast, and then Fayne pointed out that, dude, this is way more than a podcast, because we're doing like interactive bits and sketch comedy and like all of it. We're trying to make it funny. It's not with Fayne. It's with another creator named Tin Man, and it is live on Twitch from 7 to 9 Central Time every Friday night, and it's something different from anything else you've ever experienced as far as all the podcasts that all the creators out there have. And I wanted to make it part of my YouTube channel, and so that we can start getting some people to come over from YouTube and see it, because if you only follow me on YouTube and not on Twitch, you don't even know that this is happening. And it's starting to grow, and people are really starting to like it. So I thought I would give Fayne an opportunity to just gush wildly about the show, so that you guys could see that it's not just me who thinks it's good.
Oh, it's okay. It's amazing. So Zillin and Tin Man brought up the idea. We were talking about it. I got an early access sneak peek at some of the bits. I kind of heard about some of the structure. I think it's amazing. And yeah, and you were referring to it as a podcast, Zillin. And I just, it hit me at some point. I said, I wouldn't want to listen to this without the visual.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's broken up with all these bits, the visual of the bits is so amazing. The Channel 10 news is literally my favorite one. The look on these people's faces as he's doing stuff is incredible. I think
so let me break it on you real quick there. So just for those of you who have not seen Voices of Verra, again on Twitch, and the link will be in the description below to my Twitch. Channel 10 News is where Tin Man, TEN 10, Channel 10 News, goes out into the streets and asks people about Ashes of Creation and stuffs a microphone in their face. And of course, they don't have one clue. And then of course he's very good at it. So like he gets a lot of B-roll of him doing silly things, so we can break up the interviews with those silly things. And he's just good at playing up to the camera part of it. So that's what Fayne is talking about is our correspondent on the street basically asking people about Ashes of Creation and stuffing a microphone in their face. And I gotta say, I cannot wait for the first time somebody goes, "Oh, well, let me tell you the node system." It's just.
I was gonna say that same thing. The second somebody drops it and knows what you're talking about is going to be the greatest payoff to this running joke of all time. It's probably gonna take 20 episodes.
Probably.
But you're gonna find somebody, and they're just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, no, I know, yeah, no, that's great. That's great. That's amazing." I love the corruption system. I love the sieges. It's gonna be incredible. But I think you guys have done such a great show, and now I've been on a lot of the Ashes podcasts over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of the Ashes shows. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. I'm even currently, as you know, and you've been a guest with us, Zillin, on Two Guys in a Bar, which we framed that as an Ashes cocktail hour. That's kind of a slight pivot, how we wanted to differentiate ourselves.
Right.
You guys have just taken it to a whole nother level. I think the discussion, the theory crafting, the bits, and the personalities, I just still think that you guys have, and this is, I can take my ego out of things, because when you're a content creator, good content. this is the best content in terms of like that, in terms of a show
Right.
right now in the Ashes of Creation category.
Right.
Hands down, 100%.
Again, guys, it is 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Standard Time on Friday nights on Twitch. So going on to the next topic. So something that I have talked about a lot on my YouTube videos and on my stream. And so this is an opportunity for me to kind of bounce the idea off someone else. And that is the idea of the corruption system being too harsh. And by too harsh, I don't actually mean... I mean, it's hard to explain. I think that it might just almost negate entirely open world PvP, killing people for dungeons, the entire concept of the military node and the bounty hunter system, like all of those things, because the penalties are so strict for becoming corrupt. And in other games, there's always been ways that people have figured out how to like rig the system to get rid of whatever penalties there might be for PKing other players. But it seems like Ashes has gone out of their way to make it where if you decide to PK someone and truly go corrupt, the only way to really get rid of it is to die and lose your stuff. They've built in several systems in place. And so I'm just curious what you think about that idea that, that it's too hard, that we won't see as much PKing as people think, especially like, 3 weeks into the game, once everybody goes murder hobo the first week, and just realizes how bad the penalties are, that we won't be seeing it in the future, and what you think that might do to the bounty hunter system in particular.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think this is one of my big worries around the military node, the bounty hunter system, and how some servers, they might not even have anything past a level 4 military node, because the corruption system on the whole it's smart. I love that they've put it in terms of griefing the lobies, as it were. No one's going to be like, okay, well, I just lost a lot of stuff in PK, and I'm going to go over here and just kill some level 5 guys in the starting area, and I'll start to feel good about myself. So that is going to be discouraged. But I agree with you that the costs need to be properly balanced, or else it will entirely discourage open world PvP. And there's not a lot of risk in there anymore. It's going to have to be a pretty big decision to see if, hey, we're going to go into this dungeon, and if someone's there, let's just back out and we'll come back at another time. Not let's fight them for this dungeon and take absolute and complete control and call the rest of our guild in. So it's going to have to, the diminishing returns on a level 50 killing a level 10 are going to have to be exponentially greater than some level 35s killing some level 37s.
Right.
And that's going to be my fear. I'm hoping that the meta doesn't become don't fight back, so they become corrupt. I'm hoping that the meta does become, I'm going to fight you, they fight back. It's just accepted that you have to fight back.
Right.
And then we both go into the kind of combatant stance, and there's less of an issue. There's less of a loss. There's less, just even as a common courtesy, like I may want to fight you for this area, for this resource, for this boss, for this quest, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of you having to spend 4 more hours grinding out this experience debt and grinding off all of this stuff. Because at the end of the day, in terms of a total, and I always look at this game as like a total ecosystem, I can see points where somebody says, well, shoot, I'm level 25 and I've got this much experience debt from dying in these, PK situations. Maybe it just makes more sense to re-roll a character. Maybe I haven't done enough on this character. Maybe it makes more sense to just quit the game entirely, because I'm never going to get this back. And why do I want to spend $15 and my entire next month is going to be grinding off this experience debt because that one guy ganked me a bunch of times?
See, that's interesting that you say that, because I see it as, it seems to me that the corruption system and the way that it's built and the benefits and drawbacks and the, all the different things they built into it, it's really not designed to discourage open world PvP. People will, like, I think in general, people will fight back. because they've made the penalty to not fighting back stiff enough that it's like, well, hell, I might as well at least try to fight back. The only way corruption really comes into it, it's almost like corruption isn't an anti-open world PvP mechanic. It's an anti-griefing mechanic.
Yes.
When you start griefing someone, camping their body, camping the spawn point, going and killing people that are way lower level than you, all those things, you're accruing all this corruption, and it's so debilitating to your character. It makes you less effective in fighting and all of these things. Like this game has more penalties for PKing than any MMO that I've ever played. Now I haven't played them all, but I played a lot of them. And in this game, like when you go PK someone, and I mean kill them without their consent, without them fighting back, actually murder someone, you will drop your stuff whenever you die. There is not a way to clear off your corruption that is simple or easy and can be done real safely. Your combat effectiveness is lessened. So you're eventually, I think that eventually a level 10 could kill a level 50 if he just kept doing it over and over and over again. To me, it's very much anti-griefing instead of anti-open world PvP. And so if that's the case, and people figure that out very quickly, and they say, okay, you stop having the griefing, because people are like, well, it's not worth it, especially if all I'm really doing is hurting some level 10 or whatever. And then because there's nobody going corrupt because they're not griefing, what's the purpose of the bounty hunter system? Unless there is some type of a built-in NPC red or NPC corrupt characters that's going to be built into the bounty hunter system. But if it's supposed to be other players that are corrupt, I'm like, I don't know how many of those are going to be running around all the time. So it's just something I've been thinking about. I'm not sure how that system is going to play out just yet. One of the questions, Intrepid does this question of the week or question of the month. I can't remember how often it is, but and they're always asking these very insightful questions, and they're trying to get the community engaged and all these things. And these are all things that I'm a big fan of. And the question their most recent question has been about the ideal guild member. Can you describe the ideal guild member to us? What is somebody that is absolutely ideal for you in terms of what you're looking for in a guild member? And I think it's a great question. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fane, but you're part of the leadership of Axiom, which is one of the bigger guilds in the alpha. Will probably be one of the bigger guilds once the game launches. Definitely one of the most organized guilds. So from your perspective, from not even from Axiom's perspective, but from Fane's perspective, what is an ideal guild member?
It's tough, right? Because there's definitely kind of a wide spectrum of what I'm looking for. I'm fine on a personal level with the guy that wants to play semi-casually, maybe a couple hours a night after work, a few nights a week, and knows how to cut out their role within the game. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to log on. I'm going to manage my tavern. I'll do some quests. I'll grind up slowly and all of that. And I'm fine with the super hardcore min-maxing. I want to PvP. I want to push every achievement. They say that I can't do everything in the game. I want to prove them wrong. Right. I'm fine with that full spectrum. For me, it comes down to personality. And we talk about this a lot, within, I know we're talking about my personal thing, but we talk about it a lot within Axiom of our guild. And I think every guild has a culture.
Yes, it does.
Versus how hardcore someone is, I think maintaining the culture within the game and within the guild is so important. I think that's the really important thing. I love the current culture that I have in the guild I'm in now. I know there's some other guilds that I've worked with closely in diplomacy or grouping up together for things, and I'm not a huge fan of their guild culture. I just don't feel comfortable there. It's not how I like to game, and it's not how I like to interact. And so it's tough. It's like combat, right? You don't know it until you feel it. And once you feel it, you know it's right.
Right. Yeah.
Having that guild culture and somebody who can mesh in appropriately. Somebody who, when they jump into voice chat, the other guild members aren't saying, "Oh God, this guy's in voice chat. Okay, well, I was gonna go, I was gonna go wash my hair anyway. Let me go wash my hair right now. It seems like a great time to do it." That is really tough. So it's definitely hard to put your finger on it for sure. I mean, so for you, Zillion, I know you're thinking you've got some plans one way or the other,
Mhm.
what would be a ideal or a perfect guild member to you?
I think that you kind of, man, yeah, that was such a good point. I think that was a paraphrase of a congressman or senator from years ago, talking about you can't describe it, you just know it when you see it. I want to say that was said about porn at some point.
I was about to say, I think that was porn, not guild
Yes.
members, but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
close.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
close.
It's a close, but no, that's correct. You know it when you see it.
Yeah.
And so to some degree, you're right about that, because I think about, like my time in Star Wars: The Old Republic and all the guild members that I had. And I had a bunch of really, really great guild members, but they had a wide array of personality traits and motivations within the game, and, all of these different things. So, and I don't have any of them that I really prefer over the other. I mean, I guess I did have a favorite. I had one guy that was like my favorite guild member, but and boy, does this going to sound hyper elitist. He was competent AF. Like, dude was incredible at everything. It didn't matter. He could just hop on a random character and he'd be one of the 3 best players in the guild on that character immediately. And if you gave him a week, he'd be the best one. You know what I mean? He was hype. But on top of that, and I think this is what made me my favorite, him my favorite. On top of that, he was funny. He came into the chat with us. He hung out. He was part of the community. He was in on all the jokes. He was not toxic towards other players. Even though he was an elite player, he didn't treat other players like they were lesser than him. At least not in general. I mean, we all do to some degree. But anyway, so yeah, competent without being arrogant about it. It might be like my ideal guild member, but there's also like, I found that our guild had a lot of people that hung out in Discord, and then there were a lot of people who wouldn't, and the people who didn't never seemed to get as much from the guild. They're just not, and so they would come and go. Some of them would leave the guild, and then they would ask for a re-invite them, 2 months later or whatever. It was like they never could find their spot. And it's like, if you would have just come hung out with us, you would find that every night when you're getting home from work and you're bored, you would be wanting to hop on a Discord because you'd know there was funny and commentary and memeing and hanging out and all that stuff. And we were actual real friends. And a lot of us are still real friends. And a lot of us have met each other in real life because of the friendships that were made there. So I would say somebody who wants to interact with the community and is competent enough. Like, you don't necessarily have to be hyper competent. That was just really nice about this one particular person, but competent enough that I can just say, hey, let's go do this, and not have to worry about, but I can't. I can't take Fayne because he's bad. He's real bad.
Which is still true.
Which is still, yeah. Which is why you're not in my guild. So that I thought that was a very interesting topic. The ideal guild member. What is it that you look for in a guild? And I'm sure that's going to change based on the guild leader and the culture of the guild and all those things. But I think you're right. The culture is what matters, and you know it when you see it. So. Well, guys, that is about all we have on this particular segment. Do not forget that there is more of exactly this over on Fayne's channel. The description is down in the link below. Go over there, give him all the likes and all the support and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Later, guys.